How to create a tumbler in 5 easy steps. We will be prepping our cups, applying glitter using the epoxy method, applying the epoxy, manicure, and seal and get that glass-like finish. My name is Nicole Marett, and I'm going to be showing you how to take the mystery out of tumbler making. Okay, so I have my list of materials. Here are the things you're gonna wanna gather before we start our adventure. First things first, let's grab our turner and our arm insert. These little guys are from Treasure Trove LLC. They're my favorite. Grab your cup and you just pop your arm right down in there. It forms a suction seal and you just slide it right onto the bar. Next, we have our gloves, popsicle sticks for mixing your epoxy, medicine cups for measuring your epoxy. Next, we're gonna grab your epoxy. Next up is alcohol, paper towels, because this can be a bit messy, temperature gun, the torch. This little guy is a necessity when you wanna pop your bubbles. A sanding block, spray paints and priming paints. I use both. When it's too windy outside or it's too cold or it's raining, I switch over to my priming paints. I do carry several different colors on my site. They are fun to play with. You can mix and match and make your own colors as well. So check them out. We're gonna use some parchment paper to lay down our little shanky bits that stick up before they get that first layer of epoxy. Now this step is optional. I'm gonna look through my decals and see if I want a decal that will match my cup. This will also give me ideas on the colors that I wanna use, as well as the style that I'm creating. And of course, the most important part, you're gonna want some glitter. I went ahead and grabbed some Jitterbug, Poppy, and some Upgrade. We're gonna combine these colors because I wanna make a custom blend for this particular vinyl decal. So we're gonna mix a little bit of Jitterbug and Poppy and a little bit of Upgrade, as well as use Upgrade for the top of the cup. Step number 1, let's prep the cup. Take your sanding block. I have a 220 right here, and I just work in small sections and take that shine off. You'll start to see little flecks of dust fly off the cup. That's the seal that keeps your cup nice and shiny. We want that to go away. So take your time. A prepped cup is a successful cup. And the reason why I do this, you wanna have a grit or a tooth exposed from the cup. This will make sure that you get a nice adhesion when applying your paints and your epoxy and your glitter. Now we're gonna take all the oils off of the cup and we're gonna clean the cup, and you'll see how much we pulled off. That's a good sign. Okay, we're outside now and it's really windy, so I'm gonna try my best at doing this just for video purposes. We're gonna spray the top of my cup first with white. The angle that I'm holding it at is gonna let it feather out and fade out towards the bottom, and it's not so harsh. Your lines are not harsh. There's not a definitive line where the white and the orange meet. Next, you're gonna take your bottom color. This is gonna be your bottom base color, and kind of hit it like that. And then we're gonna go back and we're gonna fade them in together. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and place my cup here on this turner while it dries. You definitely wanna let it dry before you apply your epoxy, or else you'll have a mess on your hands. Step number 2, the epoxy method. So now we're gonna grab our epoxy. I measured out about 7.5 of the A and 7.5 of the B, and you wanna mix it in a scraping motion to make sure that you get everything nice and mixed together. You don't wanna whip it because you'll get more micro bubbles that way. Making sure that your epoxy is prepped nice and even is gonna make sure that you don't get any stickies or bumpies or spots that just won't cure. That's because your part A and your part B have not been mixed properly. Let it sit, zap it with your heat gun. Look for the 86-degree heat range. When it's nice and activated, go ahead and start smearing it on your cup. Now, I let this thicken up a bit because I have quite a bit of chunky bits in my glitter, and I want to make sure that my epoxy acts like a quicksand and pulls in all the glitter. You'll notice that your epoxy is not thin, it's not cold, it's the right consistency to hold on and not drip right off the cup. Now that your epoxy has been applied evenly to your cup, you are ready to start applying that glitter. here's what I do. I don't like to shake the glitter from the actual container. So I'll throw it down on a piece of paper and then sprinkle it with my fingers just to make sure that all the flakes of glitter that we combined have a nice dispersion. So I have my cup cocked at about a 45-degree angle, and I want to just focus on the very bottom of the cup, but still allow the glitter to fall where it will. This is gonna give you a good fade out. This is gonna give you a good coverage, but not too harsh if you were holding it at a 90-degree angle and dropping it. Now we're gonna start with our white. I always start heavy at the very edge, and then I'll turn it at a 45-degree angle facing down and drop my glitter that way, just so that it can feather out. Try to avoid the middle for now and just get the top of your cup nice and glittered. And we will go back and forth with both glitters when we get closer to the middle. So now our custom mix is creeping into the white, and we want that to happen because we want it to look like a natural fade. Going back to our white, we can get a little closer and a little bit more aggressive, and we're just sprinkling. We're not dumping, we're sprinkling. Now we're going to take our parchment paper, and you can see a lot of little standing up shards. When you put your epoxy down and it cures, it will cut you. So it's not going to be a pleasant, smooth feeling. So definitely take a little square of your parchment paper and just kind of gently tap wherever you see standing up glitter. And it's mainly going to be the shards from Jitterbug. And all we have to do is just tap, 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 because it still is wet and it's thick. So it's just going to suck it right in. It'll stay where you put it. The goal here is to have a very smooth finish, so that way when you put your epoxy on, you don't need as many coats and you don't need to sand as much. Let's let this guy spin out for the rest of the day, and then when we come back tomorrow, we can put our first layer of epoxy. Step 3, coat with epoxy. This is putting the epoxy on top of your glitter, so we're gonna coat our glitter and seal it all in. Once you're done laying your epoxy and you're happy with it, go ahead and grab your torch and pop all the surface bubbles that have risen to the top. Make sure you set your alarm for about 20 to 30 minutes just to remind you to come back and pop those bubbles, because you will see them rise to the top throughout the curing process. Let this cure overnight. When we come back, we're going to do this entire process all over again. This is a decal from Bamp Custom Creations. She does really nice sticker cals. So let's go ahead and let's find a nice smooth side of the cup, and we're gonna press from the middle out, making sure there's no creases. This is a tricky cup because it does have a curve. So take your time with it. Make sure you smooth out all the bumps, get out all the air bubbles. Once your sticker is down, we're gonna put on our second to last layer of epoxy. Prepare your epoxy the same way that we did. I'm gonna wait for it to get to 86 degrees because again, I want a nice thick layer. Now, one more coat of epoxy. We're gonna seal our decal in. We're gonna follow all the same steps and apply. Then after this is cured, we're gonna come back and we're gonna manicure. Step 4, manicure. We have laid down 3 really good thick layers of epoxy, but we still need to manicure because there will be some bumps, there will be some shanky bits. We're going to clean up the edges. We're gonna make sure we don't have any drips on the inside of the cup. We're gonna make sure our cup's not wobbly. We're gonna make sure that we don't have any shanky bits along the sides of the cup. And how we do that, how we achieve this look, we sand it. Some people like to wet sand. That's when we take it to the sink and we add some dish soap and some warm water and we give it a nice sand down. And cleaning the inside of the cup for any debris, finally ready for that final layer of epoxy. We've made it. This is gonna be a thinner layer than the previous layers that we've done. So let's go ahead, do the same steps all over again. Remember, this is our final seal, so we wanna make it perfect. Apply it nice and even, take your time, and you'll start to see your cup coming back to life. Let this spin out for a nice 24 hours in a room temperature environment. When you come back, you will have a nice, smooth finished cup. Some epoxies require 72 hours before actually using the cup. This will protect you against fingerprints or stickiness. It all depends on the environment of the cup that it's carrying in, but just to be on the safe side, let your cup stand for about 72 hours before you pull it off the turner. After that, it's ready, can be used, ready to photograph, ready to shine. That was it. That was how we make our classic glittered tumbler. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, subscribe and like for more tumbler tutorials. I'm your glitter gal, Nicole Marett. I'll be seeing you soon.